Oh, even better. Someone does it for you. Thank you very much. Great. Okay. So, what we're going to cover today. So, you're going to hear a bit about SSE, who we are and what we do. Hear about the Southwark Local Access Partnership as well, and so who it's being be funded by, what the program will involve. So, what you're going to learn on the program, what you'll gain, and what the sort of outcomes for the program are. What we are looking for in terms of who this program will be suited to. There is a grant attached to this program, an £8,000 traditional grant up front, and then an up to £7,000 match trading grant. So Abby's going to talk through what that means in terms of when we talk about match trading, and then we'll hear about the application process as well. So how to apply for the program. Great. Okay. So SSE, who are we? If you haven't heard about us before, where have you been? I'm joking. So SSE is a charity which was founded in 1997 by Sir Michael Young. We work with around 1,000 social enterprises and charities a year, sort of helping the leaders to start up or scale or strengthen organisations that make a positive difference. We're called the School for Social Entrepreneurs, but we're not a traditional school. So learning with SSE is inspiring, action-based and accessible. There's no textbooks, there's no homework. It's what works for you and your organisation. On the program, you will get the skills and networks to grow your impact, increase your revenue, and potentially create sort of new products and services or new jobs. You will learn from experts and leaders from the social enterprise sector, specifically within the Southwark region, the Southwark Borough. You'll hear from the challenges that they overcome, and sort of hear what went right for them, but also hear what went wrong for them as well. So learning from their experiences. Because it's a place-based program as well, it's a really great
Liz,
opportunity to sort of build. Yeah.
just to pause you for a minute, are you using a different set of slides to me? Because I'm still on the introducing the School for Social Entrepreneurs slide.
Yep. Yes,
Okay,
that's
great.
right.
Fine, sorry.
No
Awkward.
worries. Thank you. So SSE, we like to build peer networks. So we recognise that sort of peer support and networks is really important. So the programs are really sort of revolved around that as well. And through our programs, you're developing skills such as confidence, learning in cohorts, business acumen, life skills, things that you can put directly within your organisations. Okay, great. Thank you. So next slide, please, Abby. So the Southwark LAP, so the Southwark Local Access Partnership is a partnership between Southwark Council and Access. Access have funded various local access partnerships across the country. SSC delivered a trade up programme within Bristol 2 years ago. There was one in Birmingham and Manchester as well. The aims of the partnership is to grow a strong and inclusive local social enterprise sector within Southwark. It is to support Southwark-based impact organisations to increase your trading and financial sustainability. And they also want to enable fair employment and local economic impact within Suffolk. So this programme is fully funded through that local access partnership and will be delivered by us, the School for Social Entrepreneurs. And I'm going to pass over to Abby to talk about what we mean when we talk about a trade-up programme.
Yes, so SSE runs a number of different kinds of learning programs to support social entrepreneurs. We run what we call startup programs, which are to help people get off the ground and put in all the foundational pieces they need to run a social enterprise. And then we run something called a trade up program, which is designed to help social enterprises to diversify their income streams and break out of the reliance on grant funding in order to be more financially sustainable and not be constantly chasing the next grant, but actually be able to make some more progress in growing their organization and be able to cover core costs. And it's something that we believe is really important for the sector. And what we mean by traded income is money that comes into your organization in exchange for goods and services. So, for example, going to Tesco, when I buy a banana from Tesco, that 50p is traded income for Tesco, and they can do anything with that 50p. Whereas if Southwark Local Authority funded me 50p to run a banana program, I would only be able to use that 50p for pieces of work related to that program, which means that I wouldn't have any money to pay my salary. I wouldn't have any money to pay an accountant. I wouldn't have any money to pay for a venue. So traded income is a lot more, is a very helpful thing for social enterprises to develop. And that's the focus of a trade up program. So a trade up program is to help social enterprises develop traded income. And a little bit more clarity on what we mean by traded income. So traded income could be selling goods, as I just mentioned. It could be rental income if you have a space, hiring out that space. It could be contracts with corporates or public sector bodies. And it could be fees for training or workshops. What generally isn't traded activity is grant income, so money that trusts and foundations or government or local authorities give you to do a particular piece of work. And donations, so from individuals or corporates where they're not really getting something in return, but they're making a donation to your organization. And in terms of what are the learning topics going to be in the program? So the learning program lasts for 9 months and is designed according to the needs of the people in the group. So we don't do off-the-shelf learning programs at SSE. It's all about us getting to know you and your needs and designing a program around that. So the program will likely include some, if not all of these topics. So traded income generation, business models and strategic planning, financial management, budgeting and forecasting, leadership and developing your team, marketing, sales and customer engagement, tendering, procurement with public sector and also working with corporates, measuring your impact and developing your theory of change, and an introduction to social investment, which is a type of finance that sits between a traditional loan and a grant, and growing your network. And as Liz mentioned, this is a locally focused program. So it's only for organizations based in Southwark. And everything else about the program is going to be very Southwark focused. So we're going to be using Southwark based speakers and experts. We're going to be using Southwark venues that are also social enterprises. And we're going to have peer support from Southwark social enterprise leaders. So it should be a really great networking opportunity for you to build relationships within your local Southwark social economy. That's a lot of words. But this is a really exciting opportunity for SSE as well to be so focused on a particular borough in London. And in terms of the structure of the program, so we have 8 cohort-based learning days where we all come together. 6 of those will be in person in Southwark, as I mentioned. 2 of them will be online via Zoom. And you'll have ongoing support from a grant manager, an SSE grant manager, and also myself, the learning facilitator. There will be lots of opportunities for networking. We bring in expert speakers from around the borough, and there'll be opportunities to connect with local buyers. So who might buy your services? And that might be people from the local authority or from local corporates. And we would expect that you attend the learning program a minimum of 80% in order to qualify for the grant. So we're not just a grant giving organization, we are a learning organization primarily, and the grant is there to support your learning. And we would also expect you to complete surveys and maintain communication with us if any issues arise. Oh, hang on. So the grant, the bit you're probably all very excited about. So this program comes with 2 grants. There is a traditional upfront grant of £8,000 to help you get started with trading. So this might be buying equipment that you need. It might be to pay for marketing materials to be able to get message out there about what you're doing. It might be to pay for staff time as you start to develop new ways of working and go out and sell your new trading ideas. And then you have up to £7,000 of a match trading grant paid in 4 installments over 12 months from the start of the program. So a match traded grant is an SSE invention. And how does it work? So the point of a match trading grant is to incentivize you to trade, to generate income from trading. So rather than just handing out money, we say we will pay you if you generate trading yourself. So for every pound that you increase your traded income during the program year, SSE will pay you a pound back. And that goes up to a total of 7K. So we look at your income in the year before the program starts, your traded income, and say you made, and then we look at your traded income during the year of the program, and we look at what was the increase you managed to make. Hopefully, by being on the program, you'll get inspired and you'll get skilled to develop traded income. And so the degree that you can increase your traded income is the degree that SSE will pay you the match traded grant. The grant manager will support you with understanding all of this and with the reporting and also with problem solving what you can do to trade. And I think I don't have the exact statistic, but I think generally organizations see about a 40% uplift in their traded income through being on an SSE program with a match traded grant as opposed to a traditional grant. And I've just got a very quick example. So, say I had an organization that runs creative workshops for neurodiverse children. Say their income the year before coming on the program was £700 from trading. If during the program they started going to local markets and selling more of their products that had been made by the beneficiaries, say they managed to raise 6,500 in the year of the program, the grant amount would be the difference between those two values. And the maximum you can get is 7,000. Don't worry if this is all feeling a bit like Greek at the moment, because we will go over this many times in the if you're successful, if you come to interviews, and if you get onto the program. Bliss, back to you.
Yeah, great. So there is an eligibility criteria for this program, which is set by Southwark Council and by Access and by the Local Access Partnership. So this program will be suited for if you have an annual income of 30 to 50,000 pounds a year. That's kind of like that's in your most recent financial year or in the last 12 months, or maybe this is what you secured for the current financial year. And we include all income when considering this figure, such as trading income that you're trading already, any grants you've received, any donations. We don't include loans or equity investments. But there are some exceptions that we may consider where if you fall slightly outside of this range. If you fall outside this range, but you're still interested, I recommend you email us and we will sort of look at it from a case by case basis and give you our sort of best opinion on whether this program's right for you. If you are £50,000 or above £50,000, there is another organisation that is providing support for you. So again, that's with Foundervine CIC. So again, there is support out there for you as well, but we're looking particularly for that between 30,000 and 50,000. We would like you to be based in Southwark or be able to demonstrate significant work and impact within the Southwark communities. So it could be that you're based elsewhere, but you deliver a significant proportion of your work in Southwark, or it could be that you work across several boroughs, but you have clear and sustained activity in Southwark, or so we will be asking you on the application form and an interview just to evidence what your connection to Southwark is. You will probably be uneligible if your organisation has sort of only minimal or occasional. So we are looking for that strong impact within that area. And also we will be looking for people who are planning to increase their trading. We want you to draw down the maximum grant available. So that's what we will be looking for. This is for organisations such as charities, CICs, community benefit societies, and other organisations with a suitable governing documents. So that are organisations that have sort of a clear social purpose, an asset lock. There's things in their governance that sort of says that, you know, it's a not-for-profit organisation, essentially. Again, if you're unclear whether you qualify for that, please contact us and we will be able to confirm or not. So, and yeah, we would need you to have a formal governing document and a bank account linked to your organisation. So we can't pay a grant into a personal bank account, but that isn't a reason why you shouldn't apply. That's something that can be set up sort of between the application and the programme starting. And again, you know, we've done it in the past where we've accepted somebody on a programme, but there's been a clause in the grant offer, and so you work with the grant manager that Abby mentioned earlier, just to make sure that you tick all those boxes and that you are fully eligible to receive that grant. So don't let that put you off. Again, if there's any sort of queries around that, email us and we'll be able to put your mind at ease for that one. So that's the eligibility criteria. The priority groups we are looking for are so people from global majority communities. By this, we mean organisations where people, so when we say sort of led by the global majority, so they hold senior leadership roles, so founder, CEO, director, meaningful decision-making power, sort of shape the organisation's strategy and direction, are represented at board level. We're prioritising, or the programme wants to prioritise those communities due to sort of historical barriers to accessing business and support and finance. It's a really sort of big drive for the funding for the local access partnership programme. And when we refer to global majority, we're talking, you know, people from Black, Asian, Indigenous, mixed heritage, and other racially or ethnically minoritized groups in the UK. Again, if you're unclear what that means or where you sit with that, please do get in touch with us and we can talk to you on a one-to-one basis with that one. And yeah, we're looking for organisations that are sort of working in those areas of deprivation as well. We're looking for sort of real clear social impact. Next slide, please. Thank you. So we're also looking for the applicant to be the leader of the social enterprise with some strategic control. You'll be learning lots and lots from Abby and the rest of the cohort and all the contributors that are coming in. And so you need to be able to have sort of the decision-making power within your organisation to take that learning back and implement and try out some of the things that you're hearing. And we are looking for you to have capacity to engage fully in the programme. These place-based programmes, the peer support that you're going to receive from it is probably even more important than the content. You're going to be sort of really working together as a cohort and building up connections. And to do that effectively, everybody needs to be together and in the room and supporting each other as well. So yeah, we will be looking for that maximum engagement. But the reason we put the 80% in, because we know that life happens and things are out of our control. So the 80% is sort of a good guide to kind of keep people on track. And yeah, just make sure everyone gets the most out of the programme. Great. I think we're going to stop hearing from me and Abby and hear from Dean and Jade, but I'll leave you, Abby, to introduce.
Oh, yes, I'm unmuted now. Yes. So I've just had the pleasure of leading a different London-based SSE trade-up program. And the amazing Peckham Soup Kitchen were on that program with me. And so we've just invited them along today to talk a little bit about what was it like being on an SSE trade-up program, what did they learn, and what was the benefit to their organisation. So Dean and Jade, if you're still there, we'd love for you to put your camera on and we've got about 15 minutes for you to do that.
Sorry, I was having trouble there with my microphone and my camera. I just need to move because we're in separate parts of the house and we started off separate and now we're back together again. So yes, we are Peckham Soup Kitchen. We have literally just finished our SSE course. I think when we started the program, we felt really overwhelmed with like all of the information. How was we going to do this? Because we're a CIC, pretty much all of our income was from grants. And we was like, how are we going to do this? When we applied, we didn't really know what we were signing ourselves, if we're honest, like we didn't really know what we were signing ourselves up for either. We was like, let's just go for this, it looks good. You're learning whilst you're doing it, which is like a really unique kind of grant. And then we came to one of these and we left and we was like, how are we going to do this? Like, we literally have no traded income and we're a soup kitchen that offers free services. Like, our whole ethos is that we want to keep giving free services to the community. And then before you know it, we started coming to the classes and stuff, and it just completely and utterly changed our whole perspective on running a CIC. So the people that we met, first of all, it was amazing to meet so many different organizations like doing similar stuff and just how they were doing it in comparison to us. It was really cool. And then obviously we had like different speakers in which taught us different skills as well. And I think for us it just completely changed our perspective. We were really lucky to reach our traded income in the first quarter, which was amazing. We got some like concert tickets, and we, because of our way of thinking where we would usually just donate those, we actually sold them and made a tradable income from it and maxed out our target straight away, which was great for us and really lucky that we took on that perspective from the beginning, because it gave us the rest of the course to just literally soak in everything that we were like all the information we were being given. But yeah, now, I mean, from sort of like halfway through the course, the amount of grants that we apply for is near enough quadrupled, probably even more than that, I would say. The way that we look at how we gain our tradable income, at first, where we were just thinking, oh, we don't want to charge people, we want to keep the same sort of ethos, we want to make sure that the community aren't paying, it gave us the confidence and the skills to be able to think about, right, so how are we going to charge the councils? How are we going to charge the local authorities? How are we going to use people that have the money to support our CIC to be able to keep us afloat, so we're not actually relying on grants? Obviously now we're getting both, which is amazing. But yeah, I think for us, SSE, so far we've been running since 2022, so we've applied for a lot of grants and a lot of funding since we've been running. But really, since starting SSE, that's been like a massive turnaround point for us, in just our confidence and the way that we look at money in general as an organization. And definitely our skills. Like, I mean, I'm just feel like I'm chatting away, but even for example, like we did a financial literacy sort of day, and they was talking to us about, you know, managing your yearly plan and how to, for example, we always had an accountant, and like one of the skills that, or one of the suggestions that they made was to get a like a tax advisor, and that made such a difference for us, and it's something so simple that no one had ever told us before. So it was like little things like that and little skills that we were taking, especially from the talks from other people coming in, that really just massively started turning around our perspective. And now we're I would say we're doing amazing now. I'll let Dean talk because I haven't took a breath
Thank you,
since
Jade. That was great.
starting. So yeah, I'll leave it to Dean to just talk maybe a bit more about what we do. Yeah.
Yeah, hi guys. I feel like Jade actually touched on a lot, um, maybe almost everything. But I feel like when Jade was talking about the 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 people that actually come in, like the financial harmony and the testimonies, and I feel like the testimonies really helped us a lot because it gave us a lot of validation moving forward in what we was actually doing. And like Jade said, we were established in like 2022. So a lot of the things that we actually saw and witnessed, we just hit the ground running. Like whether it was right or wrong, it just felt right to us. Do you know what I mean? And to get this like validation from the other testimonies that we were listening to, it just felt awesome. Do you know what I mean? So and we could follow through with that. And I felt that just the other organizations that you actually meet along the way. I know there's quite a few of you on the Zoom right now. I'm not sure how many, but like was mentioned earlier, you were split into pair groups, and I felt like that was the point when the penny dropped for me. Um, you're on Zooms and you're doing a lot of listening and listening to Abby and the testimonies and stuff like that. But when you're split into the pair groups with other organizations like yourself, and you're all on like how can I say kind of like ground zero or near enough the same place, and it's like when you're kind of discussing what ideas you want to do for trade ups and how you're going to accomplish this trade up and stuff like that. I felt like the penny actually dropped. Like, wow, like we're actually here. What we're going to do? And I felt like I was a lot panicky before that stage. But when you realize that all the other organizations are on the same wavelength as you, it's like you kind of stop panicking and maybe start um, thinking and putting a plan together and an action of plan. And one thing I'd like to say is that when we did join SSE to do the trade up, they asked you to I don't know, like what's your business plan? How are you going to make your trade up? How are you going to make your money? So our first idea we actually didn't end up running with when we got into the mix of the trade up with SSE. Do you know what I mean? So I just wanted to kind of mention that because this might happen to you guys. Do you know what I mean? So I just don't want you to panic. And I feel like there was a training that come up that was called was it Theory of Change or something like that? And I felt like that changed my perspective on a lot of things. Do you know what I mean? So I just like to just wrap that up and just say like obviously training with SSE was this phenomenal, and I feel like yeah, Jade and I are just open to any questions if there's any time left, basically.
Thank you so much. I'll just say thank you so much to Jade and Dean for being here so soon after their program ended, and the mindset shift that you
Yeah.
two and the whole wider Peckham Soup Kitchen organisation have been able to make since being part of SSE is really astounding. Coming in and having no real idea about traded income and what was it and what was the point, and then managing to implement loads of different initiatives during the program. It's been very.
SSE has an online application form, which I will send out details of after this information session, as well as some program guidance as well that explains everything that Abby and I have talked about today. So yeah, it's an online application form. And the deadline to submit that is the 2nd of April. The application form's a little bit lengthy. There's some data that we capture to help us make our decisions. So don't leave it to the last minute, I would say. Have a look at the application form. You can actually sort of look through it and see what we're asking of you before you decide to sit down and do that, so you know what you need to collect. We then will have a period of shortlisting where a team of us will look and make what we call our initial assessment. So we will sort of check through, make sure that you match eligibility, see if there's any additional questions that you want to ask. And we have a grant manager, Alexa, who will do what we call a desk assessment. So they'll do a little bit of digging around, having a look at Companies House, having a look at the information that you've sent, and just sort of do a little bit of research on you as well. And then we will do our shortlisting. So we will select those who we want to invite to interview. It will be a short online interview. We call it an interview. They're actually very informal. It's where we will sort of ask you a few questions, get to know you a bit better, maybe ask you any follow-up questions that the grant manager has picked out from the desk assessments. So we will hold those sort of late April, early May. And then we have what we call a panel meeting here at SSE where we discuss everybody that we interviewed and who we want to offer a place on the programme to, including the grant. And that will happen sort of end of May time. But there's quite a quick turnaround because the programme then begins on the 11th of June. And we do have the date set, which I will share with you in a moment. So next slide, please, Abby. Application forms can be awful. I know that. I get that. We have tried to make it as easy as possible. There are different options. So it is an online form, but there are options to voice record your answers and upload those. We also have a dedicated inbox. So that's southwarklap@sse.org.uk. Again, I'll send this all out to you at the end of this information session. And Kate will be on hand to help you with your application form as well. So please don't let the application form be a barrier to you applying. We will do everything we can to make that as easy for you as possible. And if you have any specific needs or any language barriers or anything that would be helpful, again, get in touch. We are more than happy to support that for you. And so, yeah, in terms of program dates, so we talked about that sort of commitment to the program, that 80% attendance. These are what the dates are looking like. So there's 8 study days there, 6 of which are going to be in person. So that's collectively as a group, we're looking for 15 people. So there'll be 15 of you plus Abby in a group together. We are looking to use venues very local to Southwark. Our SSE office is just over the bridge, so we might be using the space there for a couple of the days. So yeah, all very local. And then 2 online via Zoom. So as you can see, the in-person days are 10 till 4, but online we keep to a half day because who wants to spend any longer than that in front of Zoom? Not me. And so they're the program dates, and they will be in the program guidance that I will send out at the end